Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Rendezvous. If you're new here, I'm Kaya, and if you're not new here, then welcome back. Before we get into today's episode, I just want to say that this month, October, I've been doing things so excessively. It's like insane. I mean, things I wouldn't normally even do, not even once a month. I've just been doing so much lately. Like, I had sushi 4 times this month. 4 times. Like if I see sushi again, I don't know what I'll do because like I've had it so much. I've been going out a lot, just like all this stuff. But the thing is, like I'm happy that I'm doing things that I really love to do and I'm spending time with like people who are important to me in my life and positive people, good vibes, good energy, that kind of thing. So it's good, it's good. It's a good thing. I realized that you guys really enjoyed episode 9, which was Glitch in the Matrix stories. So I figured, why not make another episode of Glitch in the Matrix stories? There's so many out there. So I thought, why not? But without further ado, let's get into today's episode. This first one is called The Dead Uncle Who Didn't Die. And it reads, I knew my uncle had died. My mom had called me and told me the news. It was very sad. She told me in the middle of work, and I told one of my coworkers. He expressed his condolences on my loss. A couple weeks later, my sister mentioned my aunt and uncle doing something. I said, but he's dead. And my sister said, no, he wasn't. I called my mom. No, he wasn't dead. To this day, I'm still not sure how much of it my brain imagined and how much was real. Did I really talk to my coworker? Was I even on the phone with my mom at all that day? It still freaks me out knowing that my mind could fabricate so complete and real a memory like that. That is freaky. Like the way your brain just like has that memory that's just vivid and it didn't happen unless it did in another dimension or something. Okay, this one is called A Life-Saving Bad Dream. One night I had a dream of my mom and I dying in a bomb blast. It terrifying. It was terrifying and I was sweating like a madman. Anyway, the next day my mom and I went to this marketplace to get some of her fabric tailored. It was probably 3:30 in the afternoon when suddenly I got a stomach ache. I started to cry and whine about how bad my stomach was hurting. My mom finally gave up with my whining and took me back home. Back home, I was suddenly feeling okay and went out to play with my friends. My mom thought that I was probably pretending to be sick just to play with my friends. When I returned, she hugged me tightly and started to cry. A bomb had been detonated in the same marketplace we were in 1 hour ago. And the most freakiest thing is that my mom tells me to this day is that she believes I actually saw the man who placed the bomb and started to cry. But I don't really remember. This is wow. This is like a miracle, not a glitch in the matrix. This is a miracle that this happened. Damn. I feel like kids just like they're more susceptible to like noticing things and feeling vibes and just energy and that kind of thing. Yeah. A call from a friend. I was a total idealist back in high school. So when choosing a college, I chose to go somewhere that none of my friends were attending so that I could strike out on my own in a finding myself sort of way. Well, I ended up making a few really close friends my first semester. I mean, these guys became like family to me in a matter of months. One day, during winter break, one of those guys, my buddy Kimbo, had gone back home to visit friends and family, and on his return trip to our college, he had a bad patch of ice and got into a car accident and was killed. It hurt like a son of a bitch for a long time, and I still think about him all the time. But, anyways, a few weeks after Kimbo's accident, me and the rest of the guys were getting back from a party off campus, and as we were standing outside our dorm building, smoking a cig, I felt my phone vibrating, and when I pulled it out, I saw that I was getting a call from Kimbo's phone. Dumbfounded, I showed my friends the phone quickly and then answered. When I picked it up, it just went directly to his voicemail, which played the same message it always had. It never happened again, and we never really talked about it. But for me, it was one of those someone's looking after me moments. I hadn't been doing very well after his death, but seeing his name show up on my cell phone screen one final time made me feel a whole lot better for a time and really helped me get out of the slump I was in. I have no idea how his phone could have possibly called me, and I doubt I ever will. But this was one glitch in the matrix that I'll forever be thankful for. Rest in peace, Kim, but feel free to call again. That's definitely glitch in the matrix. Wow. I would like cry my eyeballs out. I would. Okay, this one is called Into the Future. When I was a teenager, I had two really intense dreams one night. The first one was about an online friend of mine calling me to say she'd broken up with her boyfriend, and I sang a few lines of Seal's Don't Cry to her over the phone. The second dream was finding a real life friend, dead body floating in her bathtub. I didn't think anything of it up until I logged online that evening, and the online friend came online to tell me her boyfriend broke up with her. I immediately asked if I could call her, and she said no. I remember thinking that it meant something, like I could change it. Not long after, my phone rang, and it was real life friend from the dream calling me. I was completely freaked at this point, but talked to her normally. She was just talking about school and stuff. Up until I realized I heard a splash in the background. I asked her, "Are you in the tub?" And when she said yes, I felt like my heart had stopped. I asked her, "What did you do?" She didn't answer me right away. And then, after a very long pause, she told me she'd taken an entire bottle of pills and chased it with mushrooms and vodka. She'd gotten scared waiting for it to hit her, so she called me so she'd hear someone's voice. I hung up and called 911. By the time they got there, she was unconscious but alive. Today, she's a mom to a beautiful little girl, and she's okay. Oh, the ending. But oh my god, the fact that you had two vivid dreams and then these things happened, like, did you time travel or something? Like, what? This one is called Just a Flash. Then it happened. I used to be pretty skeptical about most things paranormal. One day, while driving home late one night, I was passed on the freeway by a car. In my head, I saw clearly the car flipped over in a ditch. The flash was vivid as hell, but I shrugged it off. When I exited the freeway, sure enough, the car that passed me was at the light waiting to turn opposite way as me. The light turns, he goes. I make the decision to follow him based on that flash. I had waited a few seconds and had already lost sight of him. When I turned, I go about 2 blocks. Sure enough, I reach a ditch, and in it is the overturned car. I get off and help the man out of his car, call the cops. He was drunk as hell. Anyway, that one experience makes me acknowledge there's more out there than we know. Okay, so the rest of these don't have titles, so we're just gonna read them and find out what they're about along the way. Okay. This one says, not long after 9/11, on a Friday, I got up to go to class and had one of those mornings. Broke a glass getting something to drink, tripped over something going to my car, was late to class due to a wreck on the way there, not me thankfully. While at school, we heard about a plane crashing, something about the wings blowing off. Went to work, went home. The next morning, my roommate wakes me up asking if I'm skipping class today. After he convinces me it is still Friday, I get up and go to class after noticing the glass I broke is not broken. On the way, I pass the same wreck in the same spot. All day, I wait to hear about the plane, but it never happens. Ends up kinda a normal day. Okay, first, I just want to say that like every time I make these weird pauses, it's mostly because these stories have typos in them. So I just have to like in my head, you know? But what? So the whole day happened again. And this time, just the plane not crashing. Weird. It's like weird. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this one. Okay, so this one says I was sitting on my porch and had my debit card on the table in front of me. I went inside to get something to drink, patio furniture in sight, and a 6-foot privacy fence around the yard. I also lived alone. Went back outside and it was just gone. I searched everywhere, inside and out, but couldn't find it. Nothing was withdrawn from my account, so 2 days later, I canceled it and requested a new one. 2 weeks later, I went out to sit on the porch. I did this every day, and the old card was sitting right there on the table. It just appeared. There was nothing else on the table. It was just gone, and then it wasn't. This seems like this is similar to another story that we read last time in episode 9. If you haven't listened to that episode, go do that after this one because there's some juicy glitch in the matrix stories in that one too. But yeah, it seems like the same thing like I was saying before. Like these things do happen sometimes and it's so weird when it does. It's like, wait, I looked there 1,000,001 times. It wasn't there, and then I come back and it's there. It's just yeah. For me, I don't feel like those things when they happen, they're a glitch in the matrix. I feel like they're more like paranormal, but I don't know. Okay, speaking of paranormal, this one says a few nights back, I was wide awake in the guest bed at my place and heard quiet footsteps, and then my wife say, "Hey," gently at the door. It seemed weird, so I got up to see what she wanted, and she was fast asleep in bed. This is giving me the chills. Okay. I had an Android phone which had a Google Cards feature option that could notify you like 15 minutes to home if you were out. I thought this feature was annoying and useless, so I kept the feature off. After several months of no cards notifications, one night I'm at home and a card pops up saying 35 minutes to home, pinning me at a random intersection on the other side of town. Let's call it First Street. I think that's weird. I'm not even way over there. I don't even know where that is. I've never been to that area. I go to my card setting to turn it back off, but it's already turned off. That's weird. Next night, exact same thing happens. 35 minutes to home from First Street. Still definitely not over there. Check cards feature and the notifications are still turned off, so no idea why I'm getting a notification. A few days later, a friend and I are out running errands and he misses his intended exit, so he takes the next one. Once on the streets, I ask, "Where are we? I've never been over here." Suddenly, a car to our right tries to turn left and crashes right into us. Messed up the wheel to be unable to turn, so he pulled forward to the curb to call a tow truck. We had our kids in the car, so I called my sister to pick us all up. When my sister asked for the location, I look up the street signs. First Street. Yeah, I don't know if this is glitching. I don't know what I would call this. If I would call it glitch in the matrix or not, but this is just freaky, so creepy. Yeah, I don't know. That's just weird. Like 2 times in a row, you get a notification and then your car crashes in the same place that you've never been. 14 years old. I was at my friend Dylan's house in early December. It was me, Dylan, and his mother in the house. His mom asked us if we could put together a big wheel bike for Dylan's brother. We took the box to Dylan's room and started putting the thing together. Out of nowhere, I look at Dylan and say, "Your dad is about to walk in and say, 'Hey guys, how's it going?'" Dylan says, "But my dad isn't even home." We stared at his door, and not even 30 seconds later, the door pops open and his dad sticks his head in. "Hey guys, how's it going?" I still have no clue what the hell happened, but it freaked Dylan out. Okay, I was about to read one, but it's a bit too scary for me, so we're not going to read that one. Going through my grandma's pictures after she died, we found a picture of my husband's mom and my grandma. This couldn't possibly be his mom, but it looked just like her. They also share the same first and last name. No, we aren't related. We've had our DNA analyzed. Damn, that is weird. What? No, I don't like the sound of that one. No. It's like you'll never know what happened because, like, she's dead. I don't like that. This one says, "This happened to me in third grade, and it scared me so much I started crying and had to go to the office to talk to the principal about it. I was in the hallway for misbehaving, and my neighbor Tad, a year younger than me, came walking out of a class to my right, passed in front of me, and headed down some stairs. We said hi to each other. About 20 seconds later, he walked out of the same class, passed in front of me, and headed down the stairs. I just stared at him, confused and afraid, and he looked back like, 'Why are you looking at me like that?' I never realized how much it was like Matrix deja vu." Yeah. A true glitch in the Matrix moment, that one. Okay, this one says, "At 12 years of age, my mom let me stay in the truck as she went grocery shopping. As I wait, I see an old guy walking towards the truck with an indescribable look at me as if I know too much. He stops 5 feet from the truck, looks at me for a couple seconds, and heads back the exact way he came. It was rather traumatic for some reason and very confusing at that age. 5 to 6 years later, my dad was showing me home videos of us at Yellowstone. At Old Faithful, I noticed the same guy, same look, same clothes, peering at us on camera and at me through the TV. I'm freaked out just telling this." Oh my god, that's so creepy. This story reminds me, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this in any episode, not sure, but it reminds me of when I was younger. I was, no, I wasn't, yeah, I was like younger than 12. I was probably like 8, and I remember this guy, he would always, like, if I would be playing outside, because back then and also in the neighborhood I lived in, it was very safe to just like be a kid and go outside and play and not have anyone watching you and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I would be outside playing in the garden, and then this guy, he would like pull up with his on his bike. He would always ride a bike. He would pull up and just like stop right in front of the gate of our house, like where the garden area is. He would stop right there and just stare at me, like as if I did something to him, or I don't even know. Like he would just stare at me. And to this day, I don't know what his problem was. I mean, yeah, I have no idea. But he would do that, and then I would like run in the house. As soon as he would come, I would run in the house because I'm like, what does he want? So I would run inside, and then I would like wait for a few minutes, and then I would look outside the window, and he would still be there. Like me telling this story right now, I'm just like, not. But yeah, I don't even know why. It's so creepy. Don't know why he would do that. Okay, this one says, "I was driving down the highway about to make a right at a red light. No one next to me. As I'm about to turn, I hear crushing metal, terrible, terrible noises. I look over and it looks as if this red car drove into a wall. There was nothing even near him. His front end was completely smashed in, like there was an invisible wall. I got out of the car to help the person. It was lightly smoking, or it could have been just steam, and no one was in the car. Weirdest thing that ever happened to me. No one believes me. I wouldn't either. And I'm starting to believe I made it up, even though deep down I didn't. This one says, I think the strangest glitch I found was back when I was in high school. I was talking to a friend on the phone, describing a dream I had about an ice skating rink. And then he starts to describe the rest of the dream to me from the opposite point of view. It was a while ago, so I don't remember everything, but we both described the scenery, what the people were doing, etc. It freaked me out when it happened. This one says, I was in London on the tube, seated with my earphones in and just daydreaming. A super good looking girl sits down opposite me. Brunette, beautiful eyes, red coat, and a very distinct tattoo on her wrist. Important. Right as the doors close, an old man gets on and stands beside me, so I offer him my seat, which he takes. I stand for about 3 stops, and he gets off, so I sit down. The brunette gets off on the 4th stop, but right before, she gets on the phone and starts speaking Italian, which I understand a little bit of. My stop is still a while away, so with my earphones still in, I fall asleep. I wake up and check my watch. Been asleep for around 15 to 20 minutes. At the next stop, an old man gets on next to me, so I stand up and offer him my seat, which he takes. At the following stop, he gets off and a lady comes in, face exactly like the brunette, except she was wearing a beige trench coat this time. She takes her coat off before sitting down, and I notice she has the same exact tattoo on her wrist, and so I'm pretty confused and a little freaked out. As we approach the next stop, she stands up to put her coat on. Crazy thing though is about 30 seconds before we get to the stop, she picks up a call and starts speaking in Italian, saying exactly what the other or same lady said before getting off the tube. Yeah, that's definitely a glitch in the Matrix moment. This one says, my dog was sick and the only vet was 2 hours drive from my house in the mountains, so I had to leave him overnight. The vet assured me he would be okay and not to worry. I went home to bed at 4 a.m. I woke up and saw my dog at the foot of my bed just staring at me. I jumped out of bed and he was gone. I immediately called the veterinary office. It was a 24-hour vet. When the night shift girl answered, I said my dog is dead. I just saw him. She asked me my dog's name, then told me she had just checked his kennel 30 minutes ago and he was fine. I asked her to check again. She came back to the phone a few minutes later and said, you're right. He's dead. I want to say that not the whole story about like your dog being in the vet and stuff, but something happened to me before where I did see a cat in my bed. I think I did mention this before in a previous episode, but yeah, I did see a cat in the bed. And when that happens, it's just like, and that was like a while after like one of my cats had run away. At first I was excited actually. I was like, oh, a cat. And then I was like, wait a minute, we don't have cats in this house. Well, it looks like we read a lot of Glitch in the Matrix stories today. So, guess that's it for today's episode. If you like this episode, don't forget to follow and subscribe to get notified when new episodes come out, which is every Friday. And also, don't forget to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of these Glitch in the Matrix stories. And let me know if you want to hear more Glitch in the Matrix stories in a future episode. Also, how are you guys doing with your 23-day challenge? Are you working on stopping that habit or adopting a new habit? I hope you are. I hope you went and downloaded the chart for the challenge thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, be sure to listen to episode 10. And it talks all about that because we decided that we're going to break or make a habit for 23 days. And yeah, so you can find out more about that and more about other things in episode 10. Also, too, if you are listening on a platform where you're able to rate this show and rate this episode, don't forget to go do that as well. Thank you guys so much for listening and being here with me today. Until next time.